gets too much sunlight, too much heat, they can turn purple.
I must be giving it too much water. You're never getting watered again.
We get a bigger house so that we have more places to put plants, and then we end up having all of our plants in one area because it gets all the sun.
They had everything. They had fertilizer, good soil, water. They had everything technically they needed to keep living.
Yeah.
And they were like, I'm out.
They often fast forward their development, trying to complete their life cycle before the heat kills them.
My plant was stressed and they're like, and you managed to kill it.
Problem solved.
The Helpful Gardeners, the podcast that digs into the buzziest plant trends and news you need to know, regardless of your growing zone. Colin is a skilled horticulturist with decades of growing experience across Canada. Brandi is the greenest of green thumbs with a love of asking questions. Welcome to our garden nook.
Colin, I went to the dentist.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Never fun.
Yeah. It's like every 6 months and we know we got to do it. But although my dentist is pretty awesome, they give you coffee after.
I've never heard of a dentist that does that.
I love my dentist so much that I sent them a postcard when I went on vacation to Ireland.
I've never heard of anybody do that.
It was great. I sent them this one that had a bunch of goats on it, and it was like, love the traffic. Like, it was so stupid. It was like it's something that you'd see on a t-shirt.
Okay, hold on just 1 second. I just want to address something. When you were on vacation, you didn't send me a postcard.
I really didn't.
No,
I just sent my dentist one. I don't know.
I feel like I have also bought you a coffee, but cool.
It's just like a love-hate relationship, you know?
So, Brad Bennett, podcast, dentist, Colin.
Colin, just notch down.
Okay, as long as I know where the tier is.
Begonias. No, Colin. Yeah, so it's one of those things that we got to get going and we got to get doing, and it's you know is going to add some stress to your life for a little bit.
Yeah.
But then you're usually just quick to recover, right? And then once it's done, it's like when you go for a workout. You know, you hate doing it. Some people like it.
Yeah.
They're not part of this. You go in, you don't want to do it. But then afterwards, you feel so good, right? And then your body kind of starts to recover. And then you feel good mentally. You feel good physically.
For me, it's not even the dentist themselves. It's the hassle they're in. You have to rearrange your day. You have to drive down there. You have to go in. I get it. Any doctor, medical profession that you visit, you're never going to be on time. So they're always running late. Yeah. And it's just, come on. Like, that's the part I don't like. If the dentist was like, we'll come to your office, we will be there at 9 and we will be gone by 9:30. No problem.
I can't imagine a traveling dentist, though.
That would be great.
No,
I mean,
no, because you go in there and it feels clean. Controlled. They got TVs. I was staring at an aquarium all day. Like it was like an aquarium on a TV. Yeah. Dentists have gotten so high tech.
Have you ever seen the dentist I go to now? Because I moved, so it was too far to go to the other one. But I went to a dentist's office. Brilliant. They had TVs in the ceiling.
Yes, mine does too.
So you lie back and you're like, oh, that's wicked.
So we could watch like that new Zach Galifianakis show.
Yeah.
On TV while we're getting our teeth done.
And then it calms you down.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it feels good. But it got me thinking about, some of the stress, because we go through stress and our plants also go through stress. Yep. And sometimes that's almost the biggest thing for a gardener is seeing our plants in stress and not really knowing, the behind the scenes. How is this going to affect them long term? And this could be going through our garden and also our houseplants.
Yep.
And it's definitely, if you go into our houseplant department and you go and talk to any of our team members, they're like, yeah, we get a lot of people coming in here almost frantic, and they've got pictures and they've got, I don't know what's going on with my plant. And because that's the thing,
it looked great last week. Now it looks like this.
Exactly. Or you take it home from the garden center or from the big box store or whatever. Yep. And then you bring it home and you're like, oh no, I'm already out of the gate, not doing something right. And it could just be something as simple. We've talked about it before. It could be as simple as it's got a little bit of shock because it's not in the greenhouse anymore and it's just trying to adapt, right? Or
you just transplanted it or whatever.
Yes, exactly.
And it really sucks. To tie it back into the dentist, it really sucks when you think you're doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. So like apparently you can brush too hard. So those electronic toothbrushes now, if you put too much pressure on, it stops.
Yeah.
So you can only put the correct pressure on. But if you're brushing by hand, you can actually brush too hard and hurt your gums but you think you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, exactly. So same thing with our gardens, same thing with our houseplants. And there was an article from UBC that was posted just last month, actually. And it was revealing that plants don't just suffer during extreme weather. They actually use these like genetic remote controls to essentially like pause, play, and fast forward their growth to survive things like climate stress. And I thought that was really cool because we kind of already knew that plants were resilient to, we sometimes see them in the summertime and they wilt. And then we give them a little drink of water and then they're like, whoop, perk back up again. What they found was that plants under cold or like salt stress, so things like a winter cold snap, they basically just pause all of their growth. And then they sort of enter this like repair healing process. But then as soon as the stress is over, in as little as 24 hours, they just hit pause and they just continued their growth cycle.
I feel like there's a lot of people who can relate to that where it becomes a bit too much.
Yeah.
And we go, I'm out, I'm done. We bail. And then the stress ends and we're like, hey, I'm back, everyone.
Yeah. Or we get sick.
Yeah.
And we're just, exactly. We get sick and we're just like, oh gosh, I was out for 2 days. But like you come
pull
back.
The blinds down. You're on the couch with your Netflix.
Yeah. You come back and it's like, oh, nothing happened. Like you're just as vibrant as you were before. You just needed a couple of days, right? Although it surprised me, the whole 24-hour thing. I know humans in most cases can bounce back in that little of time, but I feel like still, like if we get sick, it could take us, a couple of days. Like my mom got sick a couple of weeks ago and she still has a cough.
Yeah.
Well,
in the winter, thank God we dodged it.
Yes.
But there was that never-ending flu bug that was going around.
Yep.
And I know a number of people who had it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's the same thing. It's kind of interesting, though, how resilient plants are. In as little as 24 hours, they can just bounce back up. So I think that's an important lesson for us to take forward, especially when we're dealing with something like, houseplants.
Yeah.
If they are going through stress and you do come in, and I mean, being timely in diagnosing the issue is so important. But if you can come in and diagnose and actually fix the issue, they won't take that long to come back.
Don't overreact. But we're doing something and our plant starts stressing. So we do the exact opposite. We swing the pendulum. We're like, I must be giving it too much water. You're never getting watered again.
Yeah. Yeah.
We move the pendulum way too far, thereby causing more stress. Your tomato gets very stressed and it dies. Well, that sucks. There probably isn't enough time. If it's in July, you can't even buy them to replace. You're not able to start from seed. But our perennials, even annuals, I've seen annuals get very stressed, or somebody walked through the flower bed, hit by hail.
Yeah.
And they look beat to hell. A couple of weeks later, they're blooming, they're up, they're doing fine. So I feel like we need to not overreact. Absolutely see what's happening and see what we can do to fix it. But that's why if I get sick, I'm not one of those people that goes to WebMD.
Yeah.
I either know what I have because I've had it before, or I go to my doctor.
Yes.
Same thing. You see the plant stressing, you go, yeah, it does this every August because it's in a heat sink and it's not doing very good.
Yeah.
Or I don't know what it is. I'm going to Golden Acre and I'm taking this to Lucas.
Yes, exactly. Pictures.
Yep.
Always pictures.
Yep.
Something interesting about this article was also they were looking at heat stress. So they often fast forward their development, trying to complete their life cycle before the heat kills them. So almost instead of that hitting the pause button entirely, they're almost like, oh no, I have a short, limited amount of time to complete my life cycle. I'm just going to fast forward and get this done fast.
So it's almost like your plant is stressing to hell and you're like, look how great it's doing.
Like, let's add some confusion to this bucket, right? They said, drought is the hardest to recover from. So they'll do like a push thing and regain their momentum compared to the cold, where they will completely pause. So if we think about the things that go into dormancy over winter, that's essentially hitting pause on your growth to go into dormancy. And then you pick back up in the spring. So it's exactly that pause and then restart come spring.
They just don't go fully dormant. They stay green, but they're like, I'm not doing nothing.
Yes, exactly.
I'm just chilling.
Yeah. But then you have the opposite in like the August heat, where a lot of our annuals and vegetables, like they're starting to get really hot. They're kind of maturing to the fact where they're going to start producing fruit and vegetable. But we always talk about in the autumn, keep fertilizing until August, September, sometimes October, depending on where you live. And it's almost that final push. Your plants are like, I only have such a limited amount of time to reproduce. So I am going to give it all I can and just push all of my energy, knowing that the plant itself will die at some point.
I've seen that in my garden with certain plants. And cucumbers, they quite like a hot area. They like the sun, and they were getting enough water. Mm-hmm. They exploded. Like Jenny and I couldn't eat the cucumbers that were coming off of it.
Did you pickle any?
And then, no, I didn't. I give them away.
Oh, okay.
I love cucumber. I love cucumber sandwich. Jenny likes cucumber in water. So we have a number of uses for it. It's great in poke bowls, everything else. But they exploded, and it was like, oh my God. And then they were like, see ya. Yeah.
Bye.
Just died.
Yeah.
They had everything. They had fertilizer, good soil, water. They had everything technically they needed to keep living.
Yeah.
And they were like, I'm out. Peace. Mm-hmm. Like sea crust out. Cucumber out.
No, but I noticed this actually recently on some of my houseplants because we recently got a whole bunch more sunlight in the day, right?
Right. Yeah.
I have sort of this really warm spot in my house with a big window, and it's so funny. We get a bigger house so that we have more places to put plants, and then we end up having all of our plants in one area because it gets all the sun. So didn't really work out, but that's okay. I noticed that one of my Christmas cacti are starting to bloom again.
Yep.
And I think it's sort of that it gets a lot of heat, a lot of sun. And I wonder if it's sort of entering into a little bit of stress, because I didn't realize this about Christmas cactus. When it gets too much sunlight, too much heat, they can turn purple. Yeah. And that's an indicator that you should move them into
the leaf goes that dark. It's not a pure purple, but exactly.
It's a dark burgundy color. Yep. And then they start to droop over. I didn't realize that was even a thing. And so I moved it, and it seems a lot happier, but it's amazing how it's under this stress. It turns a different color, and it starts to push out more blooms, almost as if to say, oh no, I need to reproduce.
And meanwhile, you're looking at it and you're like, wow, that looks amazing.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay, so speaking of that, I'm just gonna end here. This really has nothing to do with stress, but plants doing weird things.
Yeah.
Remember 2.5 years ago, you gave me the poinsettia challenge?
Yes.
Yeah. My poinsettia is turning red. The bracts are forming. It's flowering. Yeah. In April. 2
years later. And so in the last 2 years, it hasn't done anything.
So Christmas, it was red. Then the bracts all kind of fell off and the new growth came out, and it was just green. And I was watering it a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, nah, I'm seeing things. I didn't really think about it. And then Jenny was like, is the poinsettia turning red? And I was like, yeah, it is. There's no denying it. And I turned it around, and it's got big. It looks like Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe you kept it for 2 years.
But you challenged me to. Now it's a houseplant. I can't get rid of it. Now it's family.
That's crazy, though. It actually started turning red.
Yeah. And it's all turning red, all of it. But here's the funny thing. It's in the same spot it always has been.
Yeah.
It's next to the same window, the same grow light. Nothing has changed. It hasn't. So last year, it didn't do this, and it was in the exact same place. So.
Oh my gosh. Let's just add another layer of complexity to gardening, hey?
Cool. But I'm just like, because Jenny was like, oh, are we going to get it red for Christmas? I'm like, I'm not doing a thing to it, honey. I was challenged to keep it alive. It's alive.
You need to stop taking challenges from me.
Absolutely. Because, and let's not forget too, when you challenged me.
Yeah.
So Mum used to love poinsettias.
Yeah.
And Mum was coming to our house for Christmas. So I bought one of the ones downstairs. That was one of the ridiculous size ones.
Oh my gosh.
The one that's 3 poinsettias in one pot.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you were like, keep it.
You give me way too much power.
It's not even like one of the little 6-inch ones that you're like,
no.
Oh, yeah, I can keep, yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
But it's blooming.
But hey, you know what? There's the success, right? And you didn't have to do anything.
Nothing. I just give it water and fertilizer occasionally and let it do its thing. And
you're not stressed out about it at all.
Zero.
No. And just thinking about, houseplants and everything, wouldn't it be so nice if we could literally, like, if there was how our pets have a vet?
Yeah.
Like, can you just it'd be so nice if we could just bring our plants in. I know we can take pictures and stuff like that and bring it to the garden and say, we're like plant doctors.
We are. The difference is I can get Jimmy to the vets by being like, let's go, bud. And he jumps into the Jeep.
Yeah.
He doesn't care if it's minus 40 or plus 40.
Yeah.
I ain't taking my plant out in minus 40.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
My plant was stressed and they're like, and you managed to kill it.
Problem solved. This podcast is brought to you by Golden Acre Home and Garden. Find seasonal inspiration for your home and garden in Calgary, Alberta year-round. Visit goldenacre.ca. The comments and opinions expressed by the Helpful Gardeners on this show are our own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Golden Acre Home and Garden. For more information on everything we covered today and to leave us a voice note, visit goldenacre.ca/podcast. The Helpful Gardeners are on Instagram at The Helpful Gardeners Pod. Keep on growing, gardeners!